Okay, so at CCC, I loved it a lot, and if you know me, you know I really like hugging people. And so after breakfast every morning, we'd have morning watch, which is just kind of 20 minutes of silence and God and stuff. And after I finished my devotion, I just would think about everything, and I'd tell God how my day was and just how my friends are and everything. And then I kind of ran out of things to talk about, so I thought, how great would it be to get a hug from Jesus and to just turn a corner and he'd be there and he'd be like, come here, and he'd just give you a hug. And so I thought about that all through the week at morning watch. And then fast forward to Friday night at worship, and that's the night we got our little fish hooks for being fisher of men, and Troy pinned mine on, and then I went over to Josh and he got the little back thing on, and then he gave me the best hug I've ever had. And as soon as he started praying, I was like, you know what, I know this hug. And so I just gave him a really big hug back, and I almost broke his glasses because I was like, let's do this. So I saw God in that, and that was just really awesome to be able to see him through Josh and throughout the whole week. And I just thought there's no way that could have been an accident or a coincidence, and that Jesus was hugging me through Josh.
Alright, well, so most of y'all don't know me. I'm from Oxford United Methodist Church. My name is Blake. Thank y'all for having me, first off. CCC, this is my 5th time going. It was really good this year. It's probably the best I've had in a long time. Like she said, we started out the day with breakfast and morning watch, and that's what really got me this year. 20 minutes just you and God, and then that's for the day, all the projects and all the other fun stuff. Get to worship. That was really deep this year. They said we were going to go face first into Jesus, step by step, and it really happened. It was amazing. And I got really close with this church, great people, and they really helped the way through that, so really thankful for that opportunity.
All right. My week at Carolina Cross Connection was one of the best weeks of my life. We began each morning at CCC by waking up and spending 20 minutes with God, which we called morning watch. I began the week skeptical on how effective these 20 minutes would actually be, thinking, I could be brushing my teeth right now, or I could be loading up the van with my work materials. It took a couple of days to realize how important the early 20 minutes with God actually are. It came to be Tuesday and I was still skeptical. Later that night, we all met together for worship. In worship, we talked about how important it is to listen for God and not expect to hear from him without even trying to listen. I decided to give this a try. I spent the next couple of days looking for God in everything I was doing, whether it be my morning watch, the car rides with my Christian mission group, the people we're working for, or even hanging out with new friends during free time. I did this for a couple of days and immediately saw results. I could see God in everything I was doing, especially in the places I would have never thought to look before my CCC experience. Some days pass and Friday night worship approaches. As soon as I entered the dance classroom of Central Wilkes Middle School for worship, I could feel a change in atmosphere. I felt as if I was home. Soon enough, we were all welcome to stand and join in singing a couple of songs. After we sang some songs, Sam, the project director, began talking to us. Sam said that our adult leaders from our churches will pin fish hooks onto our shirts to symbolize that we are fishers of men and to continue doing the Lord's work outside of camp. We lined up and I was first. Troy pinned the fish hook onto my collar of my shirt and Josh prayed for me. I didn't know it at the time, but this prayer had become the most influential prayer of my entire life. I could feel as if we were actually talking to God. I'd never felt that before. As soon as the prayer had ended, I felt like a new person. Earlier that week, Sam told us that the staff would walk us face first into Jesus Christ if we listened. Sure enough, I walked face first into Jesus Christ. I got back into the crowd to sing some more songs, but I couldn't even utter a word. I began to cry for the first time in years and I had no idea why. I was just crying. The intense love of Jesus Christ was radiating intensely in that room. After we finished singing, we began embracing everyone with open arms, full of the love of Christ. As I was embracing Josh, I remembered a moment earlier that week. Troy asked all of us individually what we wanted to get out of the week. It came to be my turn, and without a shadow of a doubt, I muttered that I wanted to actually feel God's presence. Fast forward back to worship, I whispered in Josh's ear, I found him. All of a sudden, it felt as if a massive weight had been lifted off my shoulders. Just the sheer fact that I could wholeheartedly say that I found God meant the world to me, because I knew that I meant it. That Friday night worship service will forever shape my relationship with God, and I'll forever keep the phrase, I found him, close to my heart. Oftentimes, I will question God's existence only because of logic, thinking to myself, how could there logically be a God that's created all of this? After Friday night, I realized that God is not logical. It is impossible to think of God's existence. One must feel it. I know that this amazing experience would have never happened if I hadn't been listening throughout the week. If nothing else, I want all of you to take away the importance of listening. I challenge each of you to take away 20 minutes each morning and dedicate it to God. You can meditate, pray, or just read scripture. After this, I want you to really focus on seeing God in everything you do throughout the day, whether it be the friendly person in the drive-thru who pays for your food, or even a successful day at work. The love of God will begin to present itself in anything and everything that you do, and your relationship with God will only grow closer.